So let me try this again, family. Good morning to you. Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I know the Chop Shop can hear me. Good morning to you. Thank you, Jerica. Thank you, Ashley. I do the same routine every day, even before the show. You got to know your boy runs his chest before the show, each and every show. Sometimes the show is late because I'm running tests. So it is what it is. Hopefully we corrected it really quick and we can get right back into these flows. There we go. Thank you, Jerica. Thank you, It's Deborah Nesbitt. So as I was saying before Facebook was effing up my flow. Hey, what's up, Eloise? What's up, Say Rod? Thank you. So before Facebook was messing up my flow, right? I was making a point. First, let me back up. It's a Friday. We made it. Happy Friday. No D's allowed. Well, no, actually D is allowed. But I'm just saying, no, the letter D. Get your mind out the gutter. No D's allowed. Friday. Happy Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Where my working folks at? I know on Monday you was like, God damn, this week is long. Tuesday, God damn, this week is long. Wednesday, you know what? The week is almost here. Thursday, well, Thursday's a new Friday. And now it's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Please like and in particular share this podcast, this live stream brought to you by the good folks at CDM, Sin Digital Media. Good morning to you. How are you, Cincinnati and the world around us? Good morning. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I have more to share. I got way more to talk about than just that, because we got to talk about the latest in terms of local politics. We got to talk about that. You're very welcome. You said some kind words. That's hilarious. Okay, that's one way of putting it. But anyway, so we also have to talk about some local stuff as well. There's been some movement in the political world as it relates to Hamilton County Commissioner. It appears that the rumors were true. These rumors came to me. I'm sure you heard the same rumors on other shows, and people talked about it, that Christopher Smitherman was going to run for Hamilton County Commissioner. He basically confirmed that in a recent local media interview. Now, you know he wasn't talking with nobody black. He was talking with his good old ass kissing buddy, Brian Thomas. Yes, his middle name is that's Brian Thomas. I mean, Christopher Smitherman can't hike his hiney up fast enough for Brian Thomas to get on his knees and kiss his ass. I hate listening to it. Anyway, somebody sent me the link to it. I listened to it this morning, and it seems like it is true. So the rumors are confirmed, and Stephanie Summerall Dumas better get ready. She better get ready, because she got comp on her hands now. The Lord Peter Baelish. The Cincinnati version of Peter Baelish, minus the tragic ending for my Gang of Thrones folks out there. People like, who's the Arya Stark? There is no fucking Arya Stark in real life. It's just villains, man. No good guys. Good guys always lose in real life. The only place that good guys win is in television. Everybody knows that. So it looks like she better get her game together, because she's got competition on her hands. I would say that I think that Christopher will be a formidable opponent. And that's the reason why he spent all his time down the dial, because they speak to the county and not just the city. So we shall see. Deborah writes, Smitherman is so annoying now. He hasn't done anybody anything good since the less than 9 and water vote videos. Yeah, all right. He's just been politicking and running BS ever since then. But guess what? There's a lot of people that love him. And they vote, and they're white, and they're black, and they're all over the county. And Stephanie Summerall Dumas better get her game together right now. She better get herself a real campaign manager, and not one of these preachers that's playing like he can do everything. No, I ain't taking no shots at nobody. I got love for everybody. I'm just saying. I see candidates, primarily black candidates, getting their cousin in them. This ain't one of them racists. I'm a cousin. She took political science. She took 5 political science classes back in 97. She's going to run my campaign. It'll be a losing campaign. Get ready. Roy writes, she's too quiet. You never hear from her. That ain't going to help her. She better get her game together. Dara writes, there is an Arya Stark, Nate. You just don't see her. Yeah, I don't see Arya Stark. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. I had to talk with the family real quick. Nat writes, I didn't like the shade she had for Alicia Reese, and I'll take her over Smitherman. Yeah, I hear you on that. Sounds good. We'll see what happens, though. We'll see what happens. 513-873-7134. I'll bring the cam up in a second. I kind of like the anonymity of not having a cam up for a second. You know what I'm saying? I'm not as exposed. Y'all think this easy. This ain't easy. It can become easier, but I also want to give props to Derrick Jaxn. We should be applauding Black excellence. We should be applauding Black excellence. That brother is doing his thing. That's a picture of him and his wife right there. They got a brand new book out called Heal Together Without Hurting Each Other. And let's just think about that topic for a second, that title, Heal Together Without Hurting Each Other. That's a really interesting title. I think that's something that no matter who you are, you can get into that. Like if you're in a relationship, no relationship is perfect, right? But you want to heal together without hurting each other. Bravo. But why am I seeing all this hate about this brother? Every time I see it on Facebook, the women's, and I'm talking to the women's, y'all coming out with knives out. And I don't understand it. Can somebody explain that to me, please? We looking at a modern day example of Black excellence, Black love, and all I'm hearing is hate. Well, what he get him off the he's this, he what? I screenshotted some of these ridiculous comments about this brother. And enough is enough. Brothers protect brothers. I'm caping for my brother. Black men don't cheat. Now I know you can't use that in this case, but I'm just saying. Brothers got to support brothers. That's a beautiful cover. Look at that cover right there. That is a tight ass cover. I don't know who staged all of that, man, but number one, the fade is on fleek. Don't say that. Okay, my daughter said don't say that. Sorry. Scratch that from the record. The fade is tight. She literally said don't say that. And look at his wife looking like a beautiful Nubian queen. He even got the accessory game going right there. What's that called again? I forget. Beautiful photograph, man. That is a beautiful photograph. And just because the man hit a little road bump, he had little problems, y'all want to discard him. You can't say fleek, Michael. My daughter says that's dated. Kwame Brown, let him be great. Kwame Brown is doing something that, quite honestly, I think is healthy. I think what Kwame Brown is doing is quite healthy. Jocelyn writes, LOL, she checks you immediately. Man, listen. I cannot tell you just how pleased as a father that I am about my daughter. I am a very critical man. My wife is like, oh God, she's used to it now. But I've been good to her too. I can be very critical because I want the best. And I don't want to tolerate nothing less than that with my children. Like I said, I never looked at myself as a father. Matter of fact, we didn't plan on having children. So the fact that I got to split my money and split my time and invest all that in a little human, oh, they got to be excellent. It ain't no choice. Like Sonny Boy, he looking at his big sis, and we keep telling him, yeah, that's going to be you. Excellence. That's the trade-off for us. For me to make these sacrifices, I'm sacrificing my time, my money for you. Nero, please. You better come in here on some superlative type stuff. That's the only way I'm doing it. And I must say, medium Buddha is superlative. I must say that. Far exceeding me at her age. Far exceeding me. She on another level. She's put herself in a position where, a couple more years of this, all doors are open. And that's all you can ever ask for your children. I'm going to be there cracking the whip every step of the way. You will not be mediocre on my dime. That's for damn sure. Anybody going to be mediocre is going to be me and your mama. And neither one of us are mediocre. So ain't no way you going out like that. No. You got a job to do. Michael writes, Becky with the good hair. Kwame Brown is doing something that I think is very healthy. You know what that is? He's speaking his truth, y'all. How many people out there got shit that y'all been pent up? Motherfuckers you want to cuss out, people you want to tell about themselves, people you let slide, people that had something to say, and you just bottled it all up. And you wonder why you got high blood pressure. Sometimes you gotta blast mofos. It's healthy to tell people how you feel. It's healthy to cuss people the fuck out. Quit acting like it's not. We all do it. Trying to keep all them feelings inside, man, all you're gonna do is raise your blood pressure. Sometimes you gotta let a mofo have it. Especially when they coming for you. Just let them have it. Just get it out. It might be your friends. Man, listen, I'm a big believer that sometimes friends, colleagues, y'all can get into it. And that might end up being great for the relationship. It's people out there that got bullied. It's people out there that got childhood shit that's all repressed feelings from other jobs with coworkers acting like damn fools. People that might have betrayed you. I say, let them have it. Just like Kwame Brown. I bet you wherever Kwame Brown is, that's the brother in the middle right there who has, if you've not been paying attention, has really have been, it's been like must-see TV for the entire week. I'm here for all of it for various reasons. I keep telling you, I am a tragically flawed human being. I'm far from perfect. I am a man, 100%. Okay? I am tragically flawed, and I love all of my flaws. I ain't trying to be perfect. I just want to be me. That's it. And so I understand it. I'm here for all the drama as long as it's not in my house, my finances. It's all my business. It's all good. Some internet drama? Shit, I got time for that. I'm not one of these holier than thou folks that's always just into talking about politics. I keep telling folks, politics is just too boring. When people think about this show, they think about the show politically first, which is great because we talk a lot about that. I think it just speaks to just how hard we can go. But I can't do that every single day. I'll leave that for other people. They might be better built for that. I love it. Think about it. You might have some people on your list that you need to let them have it. You long overdue with telling their ass off. You long overdue with cussing their ass and checking them. It could have been some old shit. Do it. Do it. Indulge. Go there. Quit trying to be Michelle Obama. When they go low, we go high. Up that, we both going low. I'm trying to go lower than you. Tap into your petty side. That's all Kwame Brown did. He tapped into his petty side. And you know what? I think it's healthy. I think it's healthy. Run around here trying to be a good Christian and all this other dumb shit. Just be human. Just be you. Just be you. Let them have it. You're going to feel much better. Like, I know people that got done wrong and then won't say shit. I'm like, you just going to eat all of that negative energy? You got to deal with what they did. Now you're going to hold on to their negative energy because you don't want to say nothing. Fuck that. Let them know. Tell them. Go Kwame Brown on their ass this morning. Send them a text and cuss their ass out. I'm just telling you. You know you want to do it. Do it. You know it's going to feel good. Nothing feels better than telling a mofo off straight to their face that try to play you. Everybody's been there before. You might even been in a situation where it's like a retail situation. You might be at a restaurant, mofo working there, you got some slick shit to say to you? What? And you let them have it. And you feel so much better. You feel so much. I got to watch my language because there's some of my audience is like, oh God, here he go again. I want to listen, Nate, but I got my kids in the car, and I'm sorry to the children, but Nate is grown. Sorry to the children. Tamika writes, you feel so much better when you do. You do. You feel so much better. I'm gonna put the cam up in just a minute. Just a minute. Don writes, you started shit this morning. I just want you to be you. Be human. Just be tragically flawed human. Okay, I ain't going to tell you go out here and rob no banks. Like, yeah, I'm human. I need that cash. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like with Kwame Brown, the more I thought about it, that shit is therapeutic as hell. For years and years and years, he got ridiculed because people said he didn't live up to expectations. He only played 12 years in the NBA, making millions of dollars. If that's not living up to expectations, I don't know what is. That's the other thing, man. F other people's expectations. Only expectation you should care about is your own. That's it. Damn what your people say. Damn what your friends say. You got a little voice inside of you that's guiding you. Listen to it. Listen to it. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Let them have it. And then, of course, you got Cicada Man there. Now, somebody posted this in the Friends page, the Friends who like the Nathan Ivey Show. It's a Facebook group, and you're more than welcome to join. Somebody posted this. It's weird. And what they took was the exoskeletons from what appears to be like, I don't know, half a dozen cicadas, and they made it into like a action figure. So it's like a cicada exoskeleton action figure. Now, listen, everybody has their own hobbies. I don't really share this hobby. Don't expect any, creative works of art from cicada exoskeletons from me. Okay, I won't be posting pictures like, hey, we did a family project. But if that's what you want to do and post it online, I'm here with it. You know why? Because it makes people squirmish. I just want to make your skin crawl this morning. That's the only reason why I post. I'll be honest with you. I just want to make your skin crawl. I'm just trying to get to Tracy. From Cincinnati. I admit, I'm just trying to get to Jerica. Now, Joe, you might have just delivered what to this point can only be called the best post this morning. Cicadatron? So Cicada Man meets Megatron, Cicadatron. We're going to go ahead and give you 5 bars on that one. A cicada creative, right? Cass knows what I'm doing. I just want to get to you. Jenny writes, hey, I posted cicada pics. Great. Post your cicada pics. I'm here for all of it. Just because I know it makes people's skin crawl. That's it. Like, Nate, why are you not on cam? Well, damn, Cass just pulled my card. She got it right. I just want you to see the Cicadatron. That is so good. Cicadatron. That is hilarious. Oh my God, that is so much fun. That is too much fun. All right, 513-873 7134. Welcome back to the show. Good morning. All right, let's pull the cam up. There I am. There it is. Y'all got enough Cicada Man. Y'all got enough Cicada Man. No, more Cicada Man. Cicadatron. I think I like that. So a few things I want to talk about. First, let's talk about Derrick Jaxn. Can we come to some agreement that 2 things? Number one, that's a pretty dope cover for a book. I've seen a lot of book covers. People are self-publishing books and things like that. That's a pretty good cover right there. I mean, I see the passion. I see the love. That's black love right there. And there's just no way around it. Yeah, I know the whole rumors about him cheating. I get it. He might have admitted to it. I get it. But are you going to throw the baby out with the bathwater? All I'm saying is they seem to be cool. So why is everybody else so upset? If that works for them, what difference does it make to everybody else? And a lot of people say, well, he was talking all that shit about how to treat a cheater. He never told you he wasn't a cheater. I mean, two things can be true at the same time. Like all of the advice he gave could be 100%. And at the same time, he's a tragically flawed human being. And then from some of the comments I read, a lot of women they think he's easy on the eyes. And he's got some cash. Okay. And if I remember correctly, he got some biceps and triceps too. So he's got all of the things that can attract women. And he might have been weak. Was he wrong for that? I mean, it depends. I mean, it's between him and his wife. If his wife is like, shh, don't do it again, baby. Oh, I won't do it. Or they got an arrangement worked out or whatever. That's on them. But that's a dope cover right there. Don't hate on that cover. I see a lot of relationship covers and they're shit. That's a dope cover. Can I get a here on the cover? I'm not even talking about Derrick Jaxn. I'm just saying, can I get a here on the cover itself? Jenny writes, I joined late. What couple is this? Who are they? Well, Derrick Jaxn made a lot of money talking about relationships and selling books on YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel with about 700,000 followers, which I think is successful. And he's got several books that he's written. The Breakup Book, Single Mothers Are for Grown Men Only, A Cheating Man's Heart 1 and 2, and now this new book, Healed Together Without Hurting Each Other. And he admitted, I don't know, a month and a half, 2 months ago that he had an affair. He cheated on his wife. They did 2 or 3 videos. I love the fact that people can go live and do their own media. It just makes everything so much better. And so now what happens is his book came out shortly thereafter, and people was like, oh, you was only doing this for book publicity. Well, maybe they were. Maybe they made the whole thing up just to sell books. Maybe so. It's called capitalism. Okay? Let them live. Let them be great. Let Derrick Jaxn be great. And you know what? Who better than to learn about cheating than from a cheater? I'm just saying. I haven't read the brother's book. I'm not really interested. If I get an interview with him, I'd read the book. That'd be worth it. But maybe somebody else might read the book. He's probably got a whole bunch of dope things in there. But every time I see his post come up on my Facebook page, the women's, we'll put it that way, the women is all hating. Who is he? And he's invalidated. Get him off the screen. I'm like, wait, ladies, what you talking about? It was all good just a year and a half ago. He was talking about Derrick Jaxn got the greatest YouTube channel ever. Nice cover. Honey, hey, honey, look at old girl and her cheating ass husband's book. Wife, nice cover. That's hilarious. Brent writes, the title Healed Together Without Hurting Each Other, ? Isn't that a tad bit too late? It could be. Y'all hating, man. Y'all hating ass mofos. Crabs in a barrel. Stop it. That's a dope ass cover. And nobody can take that away from them. Now, is the book going to be dope? I don't know. I suspect it will be. Janice writes, one indiscretion does not warrant a divorce. But after that, I don't know about all that. But we shall see. Good morning to you. Hold on 1 second. What are you doing? What are you doing? No. No. Son's over there acting weird. Just take your shoes off, man. Come on in. Oh, man. Kids these days. Where we at here? Black muscles together. What? Susan writes, he should write books about cheating, not marriage. Deborah writes, don't fertilize your crops with your wife's dignity and water them with her tears. Sissy Tigers writes, Derrick Jaxn's a charlatan and those books cover sucks. There, I said it. You are hating. That's a dope book cover. Stop hating. That is a dope book cover. I'm not talking about the book itself and all that kind of stuff because I haven't read it. But the cover, super nice. Super nice. And like I said, he might have some jewels in there. You never know. I don't know. Somebody have to read the book and then tell me. Hold on, what's this here? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. They seem happy, though. So that's all that really matters. I'm happy for them. Your haters out there talking about the book's cover sucks. You are hating. You're losing credibility, Sissy Tigers, with that one. You losing credibility. Glenn writes, Derrick Jaxn, a.k.a. Black Fabio. I think I read all those comments. Y'all are hilarious, man. Good morning, everybody. All right, so let me circle back around here. Let them be great. I've been spending like the last, 45 minutes talking about that. But I do want to talk about this little bit of news that's out there about Christopher Smitherman running for Hamilton County Commissioner. I think that'd probably be against Stephanie Dumas. And if that in fact the way, I think in the article, not the article, but in the podcast I heard, he said he was pulling petitions this week or next week, and he's gonna make a run at it. And I heard about this years ago. So I'm not surprised by it. And it makes sense. It makes sense as to why he would spend so much time on certain radio platforms. And it's because whose old platforms speak to. And don't think for a second that just because he turned his back on the Black community, that he won't come right back to the Black community and get support, because that's how Cincinnati Negroes are. Some of these Cincinnati Negroes are like that. They just can't wait for Christopher Smith to come back and shake his hand and start talking to you again. And when he does, don't be surprised that he'll probably get some significant support from the community. And they'll forget all about it. He'll do a couple of interviews with Lincoln Ware and say the right things, and people will fall right back in love. They'll fall right back, because some people act like they was in a trance with Christopher Smitherman. Like they had to follow along like zombies. I never understood it. Although I will give him props, that Christopher Smitherman, as I said before, is a long-term thinker, highly intelligent, very talented. And when I say talented, I'm talking about human intelligence, talented in terms of interacting with people, right? There's a certain intelligence there that some people have and some people don't. I've observed that in certain people, and they seem to be successful. So I don't doubt that one bit. Plus, he'll be able to say I was a former NAACP president, and that's enough for some Black folks. They'll be like, oh, those were the good old days. You know how these Negroes in this city are. You already know. Glenn writes, Smitherman has a Black voter problem. Well, the Black vote it'll be important. But the entire electorate is what's going to help him become the next Hamilton County Commissioner. I'll say it again. If somebody knows Stephanie Samaras-Dumas, don't get them cousin them to run her campaign, because she's going to lose. Don't get your sister to them to run the campaign because she got a poli-sci degree. Never even ran a campaign before. I mean, if she's serious about retaining that seat, I think that this would be a significant challenge. A significant challenge. And then, who are Black men going to vote for? Because there's a gender bias as well. Smitherman spent the last, few years down the dial, making believe, letting everybody, again, this is just very, very shrewd, very intelligent man. He's basically playing Brian Thomas. But Brian Thomas is too dumb to know it. You know what I'm saying? Like, on the surface, a lot of people look at Christopher Smitherman and going on Brian Thomas's show, and going down the dial, and they'll look at it and they misreading it. And I'm telling you, you're misreading it. And I've heard people say, oh, he letting them play him. No, Christopher is playing them. He playing the hell out of all of them, playing that good Negro role. And yeah, it's all about the issues. It's not about race. And I'm a good steward of the taxpayer dollars. And oh, I am flabbergasted by the corruption. He is playing Brian Thomas like he's eating out of his hand. People good that they looking at it all wrong. You don't know what you're looking at. I do. You know what I'm saying? I spent time around Christopher Smitherman. The thing about it is, I'm me. You know, I can't be flattered. I can make you believe that you flattering me, but that shit don't do nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? And so people have been misreading it. Why is Christopher Smitherman letting him play them? They're playing him like a boy. No. He's playing them to get access to their platform. And there are tens of thousands of listeners throughout Hamilton County for the last umpteen years. I'm telling you, better get ready. Oh, man. LOL. Glenn writes, not the good Negro wrote it. That's what he be doing. On the surface. On the surface, it appears that way. He just tap dancing for the man. Yeah, Willie. Yeah, Willie. Yeah, Yeah, Willie. Corruption. Game 5. Text message. PG Sinfield, right? That's what it sounds like. But he's just laying the groundwork for a bigger push for the county, and always was. And I've been telling you this. This ain't new. And it might work. It might work. So if you know Stephanie Dumont, you better go talk to her, but pull sis to the side and tell her quick, like, you got problems on your hands. You got a major challenger. This ain't what was the white dude that she beat? This ain't him. This is a whole nother animal. Get ready. Should be interesting. Should be very interesting. Oh man, I'm just telling you. I'm telling you. And some of these same black folks, like, I don't like Christopher Smitherman. Man, these Cincinnati Negroes are folding in like a lawn chair. Real easy. Just put a little pressure on both sides. They'll fold in so quick. I love you. I've been missing you. Where have you been? Get ready for it. Get ready for it. It's going to be quite interesting. And when it happens, I'll be here to tell you I told you so. You know what? Typically that window is shut. I think I like that better. It's a little bit too much light from that right-hand side. So I may take a quick break and come back. Hold on one second. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. Stop asking me questions. Yeah, come in here interrupting the show. I'm in the middle of a show. Damn. Let me see. A lot of comments said, Igmar. Okay, so now I got to block you. Ingmar Berg. Now I got to block you. See here. Yeah, we got to block that nonsense. Let's hope your theory is correct, but being a sellout for any period of time makes one very suspect. Yeah, I would say that, but I'm just telling you, from my observation, I know this city. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to change the lighting here a little bit. I just wanted to see what that would look like. I don't like it. So I'm going to change it back to the way I had it before. So I'm going to take a quick little break. We've been rocking for nearly 50 minutes, so I think we got time for it. Okay, we definitely got time for it. And then we'll come back. Oh, okay. Great. All right, let me take a quick break, family. Let them be great. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Could really use a change of scenery. Yeah, everybody smoking all the greenery. All right, I think we good now. 513-873-7134. That's my number if you want to share your thoughts. See what a little light does? It's dramatic, isn't it? I like this much better. Good morning to you. All right, LOL, not the good Negro role. He did. He played to perfection. And it'll probably work. And people was misreading Christopher Smitherman down the dial for years and years and years. I hear people making comments. Y'all just don't understand what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a different type of brother. Highly motivated, long-term thinker. So we'll see what happens. Andrea writes, morning all. Glenn writes, OCD, Nate, with the lights. Well, it's not OCD. I just didn't like the way that the scene looked. It just was way too much light on the right-hand side. So that's all. Let me see. Tamika writes, y'all so wrong. Exactly. And I will go buy this book because they feel he has changed and is healing in his marriage. Damn, Brent Beer, stay on. Oh boy. Queen Maxine writes, grand risings, everyone. Good morning to you, Queen Maxine. Good morning to you. So a little bit of local news here. Put it out there. Christopher Smitherman has put it out publicly that he is running for Hamilton County Commissioner. You know, he's currently the vice mayor and been on city council for, I don't know, at least 8 years. It ends up being. I'll be honest with you. I will be glad to see him off of city council because I think that he's a divisive force. He's not a positive force on city council, in my opinion. I don't think he's a positive force at all. I think he spent a lot of time talking about shit that people don't care about, spent a lot of time, getting a lot of sympathy because of what happened with his wife. And then using that as currency and a license to bludgeon his political opponents. That's what I'm just telling you what I thought. I mean, you take it any way you want to. This is what I think. You might disagree. This is what I feel. And I say the same thing to his face because I'm not saying anything disrespectful. This is just my opinion. Some people get squeamish on certain topics. And as I said, I think Stephanie Summerall Dumas has a challenger on her hands and she needs to get ready. Let's get ready to rumble. Also, I'm giving props to Derrick Jaxn for his black excellence, for being what on the outside looking in appears to be a sharp businessman. He's in that relationship niche where he talks about relationship through a series of posted videos on YouTube primarily. And then he also publishes books that he sells. And everybody knows about the issues with him and his wife. He gave in to the flesh inside of his marriage. It's one way of looking at it. And he admitted to it. And a lot of women are now calling him a hypocrite and things like that. And, I get it. But I'm just here to say that, nobody's perfect. And I think it's possible, and again, I'm not in their marriage, but I think it's possible for them to continue in their marriage and be happy. People was calling his wife all kind of things. Oh, she dumb. She a separate wife. I don't know. But if that's what makes their relationship happy, that's what makes their relationship happy. You never know how you would deal with cheating until you have to deal with it. And if I said, even in my own marriage, I've never been the one. I've always said the same thing. My wife and I have been together for 21 years. If I find out she cheated on me, I'm not automatically walking out the door because I need to know why. I need to know what was going on. We got a lot going on together. You know what I'm saying? Am I going to give that up for something that she did? It depends. I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say yes either. And that's the complexities of, love and cheating and marriage and all that kind of shit, because the politically correct thing to say, the thing to say that's politically correct to everybody, because people say, well, that means you got a strong self-esteem, is, oh, first transgression, I'm out the door. That's what a lot of people say, but it's harder when your feelings is involved and you've made investments with people and you got a long-term plan and strategy. It's also harder when you got the ups and downs of relationships. Sometimes relationships hits a low. Y'all might have some issues or whatever. Things happen. I'm not saying it makes it right. I'm not saying that at all. I don't believe that. I'm just saying that I hear a lot of people who have never been married before talking about what they would do when they got married. And I just chuckle to myself because I already know that you don't know what you're fucking talking about until you actually in a situation like that, in a long-term situation. So I don't look down on her for being with him. That's her king. He's her queen. They decided to stay together. Like, she might have said, you know what? He explained it to me. He's a man. He gave into whatever. He said he ain't going to happen again, but we got other things going on. I'm still in love with him. I want to be with him. I think that's possible. I think it's possible both ways. I think it's more possible when it's the woman, when it's the man that's cheated. When the woman's just cheating, that's another level for a brother. That's a whole nother level. Like, what did you say? What? Let me see. Brent writes, Nate, when was the last time Smitherman was on your show? I think the better way of putting it, Brent, is when was the last time I reached out to Smitherman? And I admit to you, it's been some years. I can't remember the last time I reached out for an interview. There was a time when I was doing a regular basis and I never got a response. I even called down to his office, and he is my representative, never got a response back. And I figured it's because it was me. You know, he didn't want to do the interview with me because he didn't like me, or, you know, it's like, why go on Nate's show and do a rough interview when I can go on with Brian Thomas? Brian Thomas has a much bigger audience. And plus, he's going to kiss my ass for the whole time I'm on there. So where would you go? You going to take the path of least resistance. Like, why take the chance of coming on Nate's show? His audience is so much smaller. He catch me in some dumb shit and make a moment. Now his audience gets bigger. When I can just go on Brian Thomas's audience, much bigger than Nate's audience. He's going to kiss my ass all day, all night long as I'm on the air. And, you know, I accomplished all of my goals without any of the potential pitfalls. So that's what it comes down to. I already know. It's like, why fuck with him? I get it. So that's the better way of putting it, Brent, is when was the last time that I asked him to come on that his whole team just didn't respond? I can't remember. I was like, okay, I did it enough. I see what I need to see here. And I just moved on. I'm that dude. I like being that dude. I like being the dude that people try to ignore. I like that because that means I'm doing the right thing. I love it. All it does is just make me more encourageable. That's it. Glenn writes, Brian Thomas, that's like Tim Scott talking to Marjorie Taylor Greene. It is. And I wasn't blowing kisses. I was making the ass kissing sound because that's all Brian Thomas does whenever Christopher Smith comes on. I just listen to the interview. You go on their website and listen to the interview. That's my imitation of Brian Thomas interviewing Christopher Smitherman. With a smile. That's my impersonation. It's pretty good impersonation, wasn't it? I know. You can share this. Charles writes, too busy kissing the West Side white boys. Yep. So, but I'll reach back out. You know, I have no problem reaching out and getting no response. That means nothing. That does nothing to my day. It actually puts a little pep in my step because I like being your friendly neighborhood iconoclast. I like being that guy in the Cincinnati market. I'm going to continue to do that. It's fun for me. Just saying. You got to get your fun somehow. I told you I was different. I'm a little different. You know, I can be weird. Some people might say I'm a little bit weird, but I'm a Virgo. All Virgos are weird. All Virgos are weird. Hey, good morning, DeMarco. What's up? What's up, everybody? Good morning to you. Good morning. Let me see. I am 59, never been married, with 3 children, anointed to be celibate for 3, 18, and 5 years now. I'm mature enough for my king. Celibate, huh? Damn. Okay. That's some discipline right there. Deborah Nesbitt writes, we need to share Nate more. It's hard to share, though. It's nice, small, but it's time to blow Nate up. Each one reach one and share. I appreciate it. Jenny, you like my impersonation? She is cracking up. Yeah, spot on. That's spot on. Brian Thomas interviewing Christopher Smitherman. It's just one long pucker. That's it. Smitherman should get an STD and STI test afterward, just to make sure. So should Brian Thomas. Just to make sure. All that ass kissing going on. Let me see. Brandy's in the chop shop first. She writes, good morning. Sharp writes TGIF Nate in the choppers. Hacksaw Jim Thuggin writes, good morning, Rostin here to set you straight. Hashtag alt middle. Brenda writes, happy Friday. Tanika writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. No! There's nothing wrong with being a good Christian. Tanika, there's nothing wrong with being a good Christian. There's also nothing wrong with being a good Christian and telling a mofo off from time to time. Okay? That was my flow on Kwame Brown. That's what I learned this week. Let him be great. That's the brother right there in the middle. For years and years and years, he was the laughing stock of the NBA because other people said that he didn't live up to their standards. Well, all I know is he got paid millions of dollars every single year. Matter of fact, 12 years in the NBA. If that's not success, I don't know what is. Raise your hand if I told you that at 19, 18, straight out of high school, you was going to spend the next 12 years, even if you was on the bench, making millions, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year playing basketball, and you was going to do that for 12 years. How many people would say that that was successful? I know I would. Sounds like he was successful to me. But people said he was a bust. He was drafted number 1 by the Washington Wizards. Michael Jordan was all in his posts. I can't play no more, but now I'm still a ball player type of thing. He was a president of basketball operations for the Wizards. He drafted the brother. He even played with him because he was a player, coach, player, executive. Remember that? Michael Jordan is so funny because it's like some of the most popular things in the world are not true. So, like, McDonald's is not healthy. I don't give a fuck what they say. The shit ain't healthy, and everybody knows that. But they keep talking like, it's a healthy meal. It's a healthy alternative. It's never been a healthy alternative. It was always fast food. One of the biggest lies ever told. Same thing with The Last Dance. How many people have watched The Last Dance? That's the Michael Jordan 10 parts docuseries. How many people like that? 10-part series. It starts with Michael Jordan being in college, being drafted. It was wonderful. It was wonderful video. I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. The wifey about a week or 2 ago was like, how many times you watched this? And I realized I've watched it a lot because it's watchable. Typically I get a chance to watch TV when I'm falling asleep. And it's very fun to put on The Last Dance and then fall asleep to. I don't know what it is about the narration or just the type of it is. In my brain, I love to put The Last Dance on. No matter what it is, I've watched it like 100 times now and watch that and fall asleep. Like that. See, she's just going, that woman. Anyway, so what's your favorite thing to watch to fall asleep to? Because like The Last Dance is my go-to fall asleep television, right? Put that on for whatever reason. It entertains me. Even though I've seen these images 100 times, I don't know what it is. Matter of fact, I watched that all. I mean, the Michael Jordan, the 90s, I was grown. I was watching the games. So I remember all of that shit. I don't know why the shit's so entertaining, but it is. Sorry about that. I don't know why the shit's so entertaining, but it is. And but it's one of the biggest lies ever told. The fucking Last Dance. That's not The Last Dance. Negro, you went on to play for the Washington Wizards and you was terrible. He was terrible. But Michael Jordan, in his genius, has condensed his career to the greatest part of the career. We don't even talk about when he was the old flabby dude, a shell of himself for the Washington Wizards. That's why I say it's funny how when we think about Michael Jordan and compare him to other people, we only compare him to them 6 years he won championships. Everything that happened before that and after that, it's like it don't even matter. When it comes to LeBron, though, every year he played, and it all matters to him. We don't count that against Michael Jordan. We don't count the years that he made the playoffs and got his ass whooped, or he didn't make the playoffs. We don't count none of that. That's just the genius of The Last Dance, but that's the way the human experience is. A lot of things that are very popular are damn lies. You ever notice that? Lies. Lies and damn lies. That's all they are. Good morning to you. Charles writes, Grand Risings, Nate and the Choppers. Queen writes, I will tell the devil off in a heartbeat. I'm humble. Cleopatra Jones writes, lift black voices. Absolutely. Now, listen, guys, I want to tell you again, we got one of the choppers, Carmelita, she's doing dialysis. She is looking for a kidney transplant. If you go to Carmelita, I believe Carmelita Jones on Facebook, or just type in Carmelita, she'll come up. And if you're in a place or you know someone that can help, most certainly, most certainly. She never asked me to do this, but I saw this happening on Facebook, and what I'm supposed to do, ignore it? So, I don't know what that's like to be on dialysis. I never experienced it. I've heard terrible things about it. I don't know what it's like to be on the donor list for a kidney. All I know is that we do have an audience. We reach tens of thousands of people every single month just from this Facebook page. If I told you the numbers, you wouldn't believe me. And so maybe we can touch a donor out there. Maybe we can touch somebody. So go on Facebook, find her on Facebook, Carmelita Jones, and just look at her post. And I've reposted in a friend's page. I'll repost it again today. And this is a very serious matter. This is a life and death matter. This is something that matters. So I just want to put that out there. Okay. Let me see. Did you see that Byron Allen is suing McDonald's for like $78 billion? I saw that. I did see that. And without getting into the details, which I'll get into a second, my initial reaction was, that's what a black billionaire is supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be checking these corporate entities that's on a level that average folks, we can't touch them. That's what you're supposed to be doing. So when he went hard at Comcast and later settled, case damn near went to the Supreme Court, I was thinking that's what you're supposed to be doing if you're Byron Allen. That's how you represent. Media mogul Byron Allen is suing McDonald's for racial discrimination and is seeking a $10 billion in damage. Byron Allen teamed up with the owners of black media, including Roland Martin and others, and they went hard at General Motors. That's what you're supposed to be doing if you're a black billionaire in these days and times. Use your incredible wealth, which affords you a huge, probably very experienced and very capable legal team, and put their ass to work on a level that us working folks can't even imagine. That's what he's supposed to be doing. Go hard at him at the top level. That's what he's supposed to be doing. I love it. Keep it up, Byron Allen. I loves it. Despite McDonald's having an annual revenue of $100 billion, the lawsuit contends that the leading global food seller created an African-American tier and gave smaller budgets and less favorable pricing to black media, despite appealing to the general market. Look, I haven't agreed with every move that came from Byron Allen, but I've said it before, this thing that him and Roland and these other owners of black media are doing, I want to join. They are 100% right. That's part of the discrimination. That's part of the game. When you have media platforms that are looked upon as having black audiences, people don't want to pay you. They don't want to pay you what your counterparts are getting paid, what their competitors in the same market is getting paid. They don't want to pay you. They want to starve you. And that's because they can't control you. They don't want you to be around. If they can control you and influence you, you can stay. If they can't, you don't need no money. So I love what Byron Allen is doing, bro. I love it, Daryl, and I hope he's successful. I hope he's successful. I hope Roland's successful. And people should pay attention to it. And you should look at the ownership and what the ownership of black media is doing. You should look at it. I love when Roland Martin called out the ownership of Urban One and said basically they was on some Benedict Arnold type ish. It doesn't surprise me one bit. I'm not surprised one bit because black people in this country could not have gotten to where we are if it wasn't for other black people working fucking against us. And the same thing happens in this city. You got black folks working against each other. And in some cases, one or both of the parties actively know it. And they participate in it because of greed. Because they get something out of it. Damn everybody else. There's a whole lot of this. Hold on, John. We got John in Princeton from Florida on the line. Hold on, John. I'll bring you on, brother. I'm all off the screen and everything, grabbing for shit. But the same thing happens in this city. It's a lot of black folks that's in front of everybody, and they actively working against the black community because it benefits them specifically, because they're getting money out of it. They're getting influence out of it. And they're going to continue to do it because that's how they live good in Greater Cincinnati. And some of these folks is sitting right in front of your face every day. I'm just saying. Stop me when I'm wrong. And that's part of the problem. What we need to do is get these Judases, identify the Judas in the community, and deal with they ass. That's what needs to happen. Because as long as you got a Judas that's in the family and undercovers, you always gonna have problems. You always gonna have problems. I ain't saying no names. I'm just saying you always gonna have problems. If you feel like I'm talking about you, then I am. It is what it is. I must have hit my target. Okay, it is what it is. All right, I'm just trying to say, but I love what Byron Allen is doing. I support him. I support Roland in as much as I understand it. What I do understand, I'm 100% for. Basically, what they're trying to do is push for equity when it comes to black media platforms. How could you ever be against that? How could you ever be against that? And I've dealt with it as well. I know damn well when people go to some of these other radio stations, they ain't asking some of the questions they're asking me. And I'm very proud of the numbers that this show does and that the network does for now. People will be surprised. So I've seen the bias firsthand. But it comes with the territory. I mean, I remain unmoved, unbothered, undeterred, unwavering. You know, it is what it is. So I get what he's trying to do at McDonald's. And how dare McDonald's? Who eats more McDonald's than us? So if black people are anywhere near a majority or a significant part of your consumer base, then black media, black owned media, not black targeted media, because BET is black targeted but owned by Viacom. That's Jewish owned. Black owned media promotes black wealth. Right? Black targeted, although it's owned by somebody else, does not. And that's part of the reason why, you know, they're fighting this fight for black owned media. It's about the overall movement to build black wealth. That's what it's all about. And you got some of these corporations like General Motors, they love black consumers. McDonald's, what would they do without us? What would McDonald's do without us in this country? But yet, when it comes to working with black-owned media platforms to advertise your brand new smoothie or your triple barbecue cheeseburger, you want to go to the white folks. You want to spend tens of thousands of dollars down the dial, $100,000 down the dial. What? Wait a minute. But you expect for black folks, and then you want to kick the black-owned media. You want to pick them $100. How much could $100 get me? How much could $100 get you? Yeah. Back in my corporate days, I used to hear Jerry Tolliver talking about this. This is nothing new. They're not new. They just try to starve you out of business. That's what it's all about. While at the same time, black consumers ignorantly don't really know the larger politics. They'll just keep giving their money away. Just keep giving their money away to people that don't really invest in you. Tell me that's not a problem in the city. You know it is. Let's go to the phones. Enough of me, man. I feel like I've been blathering on and on and on. I know y'all sick of hearing my voice, aren't you? I want to hear from you. 513-873-7134. Good morning and welcome. Yo.
Good morning, Mr. Nathan Ivy and the good people of Cincinnati and the good people around the world. And yes, those choppers. Good morning, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Doing fantastic.
Great flows just now. I agree with your assessment on the black media. But before we get to, I have a question I want to propose to you on the Israeli and the Palestinian situation. But before we get to that, really quick, you talked about two quick topics that we can talk about. You mentioned the Smitherman, and initially years ago when I was following your station, and then Smitherman, I think he had a show on before he got into the political arena. And
Right.
I would call in, and he would put me on, and I enjoyed listening to his flows. But too often, when African Americans get in that political arena, they tend to change from what my perception and what I can see. And Smithson was okay. His topics was good on the radio station, but once he left the radio station, jumped in that political arena, I can hear the outcries on your station as well as uh, um, other stations there in Cincinnati that the brother has changed, and I guess he's playing the game. I haven't talked to him in a long time, so I hear your perception, and it's a different arena. I'm not making excuses for him, and he's got to carry his own water bottles. But we tend to forget when we get in that political arena where we came from. And you can play the game but so long, but when your slave master takes you down, he's going to take you down, black or white, as we see what's going on with Trump and the characters around him are slowly being taken down little by little right before our eyes. So, yeah, I agree with your perceptions on Mr. Smitherman because I can sense it from a distance as I would listen to people on the Cincinnati station there in Cincinnati as well as your station, the Outcry. And you started also, I agree with you on the Byron Allen. I didn't know about that. I'm going to look that up. That's interesting. But, I applaud that brother because he won that major lawsuit. I forgot how many billion he got on that particular lawsuit. Now he's partnering with other African. I can sense he's giving back. He figured, listen, I got billions of dollars. The best I could do is try to pull black people into the fro. I don't know if you saw that press. I read the press, the media here in Florida. I believe it was AT&T that has bought out. Look it up. AT&T yesterday is merging with a couple of other giants. I think they think AT&T owns Disney and other. They sense a big opportunity to control more of the media. And I applaud you, Nathan. I followed you. I applaud what you've done and the works that you've done when you were let go from that other station. I won't mention his name, the station, but you took the bull by the horn and now you're building your own media giant. I think I pointed out to you a couple of weeks ago that in that infrastructure bill, part of it, some of it, is the internet and media. And I said to you on the airways with other people, there are going to be opportunities on that infrastructure bill. And Biden mentioned it. It's going to be tooling the schools, media networks, infrastructure, highways. It's going to be opportunities. So you got to do your research on this. And partnering with other media giants is going to be very, very important. And some of those contracts coming out, Nathan, is going to be opportunities for people to collaborate and partner and get a piece of the pie. Because Biden knows he can't just allow the big boys, the media giants, to take advantage of that, and not some of those contracts have to be allocated for minority and women-owned business. So if you don't take advantage of, if anybody that has a business in the media can sense an opportunity and collaborating with schools, colleges, universities, the infrastructure. Infrastructure is not just highway and bridges, but if you got to look deeply into that bill that he's proposing, part of that is media as quietly as it's going to be kept for now. So AT&T and these giants sees a great opportunity in snatching some of those millions, or should we say billions of dollars that's going to be allocated. So, I mention that because I see where Byron Allen is going because he sees to put opportunity, as you just stated, on McDonald's that allocates advertisements to only certain groups, and they throw pennies at African American groups, which is a shame. And I do agree with you. Part of that I blame over the years on African American leaders. I know you don't want to mention their name, but I can mention their name because I have no loyalty to none of them. The Jesse Jacksons, the Al Sharptons, and other black groups locally in your state and across the country that talks out of the side of their mouth. But when it's time to stand up, they're playing the game as quietly as they keep it. So I can mention their names because it's going to be in my book when it comes out. You're going to see things that you haven't seen that I'm going to mention, some of you choppers. So, and I would end with this. My question to you, as I stated, if you, Nathan Ivory, is president of the United States today, and you see the conflict going on in Israel and the Palestinians, how would you sit these characters on both sides of the border with the senseless killing on both sides? And I blame most of it on Israel because we supply, as I stated before, we supply Israel with all of those weaponry and bombs and jet planes and to kill the Palestinians, and it's to take the land. That's what it's always been for 60 years. That caller the other day, I think, that wanted to denounce me because he think I didn't get my history right. If you listen clearly, caller, play the tape back, Nathan. If you have to, caller, if you listen, I did not say the Palestinians and Israel's been fighting for thousands of years. If you listen closely to what I've said, I clearly understand they only been fighting for 50 to 60 years. I know that. And yes, you brought up a lot of historical data. Yes, I know that too, which was good. I'm not denouncing that. But don't be so quick to slash me and you're not listening clearly to what I'm saying. And that'll be pointed out in my book too. So, Mr. Nathan Ivey, back to you. I just had to get that off my chest. If you're a president of the United States, how would you settle that conflict? And before you answer that, if I was president, I would say what Biden now he's backtracking today. The Palestinian and Israel has a right to defend themselves, but peacefully the conflict we must stop. No, behind closed doors, Nathan Ivory. I know Biden probably put heat on Netanyahu, saying we give you billions of dollars of our taxpayers' dollars. This is ridiculous. 50 to 60 years. And the world is putting heat on the U.S. too and saying to Netanyahu, either you stand down or the heat is really going to be on him. So my question to you, Nathan Ivey, if you were president of the United States, how would you handle this conflict?
All right, John, thank you for your call. And I'll answer the question. John just dropped off the question of all questions for any U.S. president. And he expects me to have a usable answer. All I can tell you is my viewpoint. I would have no idea if I was a president. I would have no idea. I can freely admit to you that I don't know enough about the history and the current situation to give you an articulate response, quite honestly. And I think anybody that acts like they do is just acting like it. But I don't need to do that. So I'm just telling you, that's beyond my knowledge. For me to give you an answer that I would feel comfortable with, John, I'd have to do a lot of research. Just to make sure I'm sharp on the history of the agreements, broken agreements, and also the current history. I haven't done that work. So I don't want to jump into and just say some dumb shit. But as I said before, my general view from afar is I believe that Israel has all the power. They have the majority of the power. They have the military might. And that's something that you can't underplay. But in terms of specifics, man, I mean, that's way past my pay grade, bro. Way past it. If I really developed some time, I mean, just a few days really to really catch up and sharpen up on the history and the current situation, then I could possibly, give you a little bit of an idea, but I haven't done that work. So I won't even attempt. Good morning to you. But I appreciate the confidence in even asking me a question like that. I mean, appreciate it. Sister Iris writes, good morning, Junior. Sunshine. Yeah, he came in. Said, Daddy, I love you. I mean, come on, he is the best. John is going to put Junior to sleep. Don't use Junior as a proxy, TNT. Try to use my son as a proxy. Nay, bring Junior back. Now I'm paying attention to what John is saying again. See, y'all so wrong. Y'all so wrong. He dropping knowledge for anybody willing to catch it. Brent writes, will this call never end? Y'all is so wrong, man. You're so disrespectful. Janice writes, John, tell us something we don't know. You don't even participate in the democratic system. Give us a break. Got a point there. Sheesh, LOL at John. That question was like the song that never ends, right? It was a very long question, and I just had no answer for it. I had to be right. Had to be real with you. Def writes, Blackism is my life mission. With 50 million in Black America, we should never need or want for nothing. I agree. And there could be just think about the spirit that I see right now with the millennials and with younger generation. Like my daughter has a whole different attitude. I can tell she got a whole different attitude than I had in her age. And that's because the world is different. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she grew up differently than me. You know what I'm saying? She grew up like a Cosby kid compared to how I grew up. I grew up on welfare, Section 8, government cheese, all that kind of shit. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. I know we've had a whole bunch of them, but the wifey came in and she got the stress on, and I'm just a man. Let me see here. Did he really say that? Yes, I did. Don't knock government cheese. Yeah, I grew up in Section 8, the whole 9 yards, dropping off food, the door. She grew up way differently than me, and her mentality is different. I mean, she grew up she was born into a world where Barack Obama was the only president she knew for like the first 8 years of her life. That's all she knew. She ain't know nothing else. Looking at the first lady, looking at the first family. So her view of what's possible and the world in which we live is different than mine. I grew up thinking we'll never have a Black president. She grew up thinking, taking it for granted. It's just it just furthers the possibility. And I just see that throughout, us, like the younger version of us. I see that. So, man, I wish I could live to be 150, because I would love to see what my daughter and my son and what your kids are going to do with this world after we, in the retirement home or in the ground or whatever we're going to be. I'd love to see what Junior and my daughter are going to create when they get my age. Psh. And let's say all our kids can come together and connect on some real shit. Man, we'll give them something to really be afraid of. Just saying. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Speaking of the First Lady, did you hear her comments? Did you hear the comments of the former First Lady? And it comes with the territory, right? This is on Huffington Post. Ex-Secret Service agent details shockingly racist abuse endured by Michelle Obama. Shockingly racist abuse endured by Michelle Obama. And I just read some of the excerpts, but essentially, they had to deal with a whole lot of people saying racist shit, putting up racist sign, using the N-word, all kind of stuff. This is coming from a former Secret Service agent who was there. And she said, basically, and that she felt like she couldn't do anything because her job is to assess threats, and people just hurling racial epithets is not of a threat. Her name is Evie Pomporis. The name of her new book is Becoming Bulletproof. Would you like for me to reach out to her? Like maybe I can do an interview with her, or maybe somebody else on the network can do an interview. It's called Becoming Bulletproof. If you're interested, I'll do the legwork. I'll reach out. 2020 memoir. And she revealed that she had to withstand all kinds of disparagement that none of her predecessors ever faced. She recalls one particularly ugly incident. I read, in quote, I was on her protective detail when we were driving to a school to deliver a speech. We passed someone on a bridge holding up a shockingly racist sign directed at her. I remember feeling outraged. After all, it was part of our job to protect the first family mentally as well as physically. But if the first lady saw the sign, she gave no indication of it. We arrived at the school and she walked out with her head held high, ready to inspire all of the students, eagerly waiting for her. And it just goes to show you that even on that level, that there was a constant reminder of race. It wasn't the Obamas that was bringing up race; it was the white folks. It was the Republican Party that was trying to use race, trying to be slick with it. And it's a damn shame. It quite is. And maybe people criticize the Obamas, but maybe they actually were the first black first family that we really needed. Like, I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like a lot of people. I wish that his policies for black voters and black Americans and working class people were a bit stronger. But it just seems like behind closed doors, they was dealing with racism on a level that nobody could ever comprehend. Like, think about this. The Obamas had to deal with racism in a way that no other person of color had ever experienced ever before. Kinda, right? Like, if you're the first black person to take on any particular political position or something like that, depending on the times and the culture, you're going to get that work. But they were the first family, the chief executive, the one above all of us, right? And still had to endure all of that. And largely because of the Republican Party was playing their games, whipping up fear and whipping up the white folks. Oh, you see, they got a black president. What's next? They're going to move in and marry your daughter. Don't let Obama marry your daughter. Vote for Mitch Romney, right? It was always some dumb shit. Jerome writes, I read that story. Very interesting. Yeah, I thought so. Anybody interested in that article? I mean, interview with the author, I'll reach out. But I want to know if somebody that's interested in it first. I don't want to waste my time. I'm only interested if you're interested. But I would do the interview. I definitely would. Yeah, I wonder what was on that. It was probably like some old gorilla monkey comparisons to Michelle Obama. I mean, all I saw was a fit black woman. But people like to make these political cartoons and all that kind of stuff. They're gonna do the same thing with Kamala Harris. Kamala the Chameleon, as Donnie B calls her. That's hilarious. Kamala the Chameleon. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134 if you like to share your thoughts. The council talked all that shit about corruption. They don't really care about corruption because if they did, then they would have got more than one vote for the anti-corruption measures that Greg Landsman wanted to put in place. Greg Landsman wanted to put in place, and I hope he brings it back up, and I hope the media picks up on it too. He says, look, if you're a member of city council or the mayor, that within 72 hours, and if you're out of town, then whenever you come back in town, the 72 hours start. We want to see full disclosure of campaign donations over $200. And not only that, we should create a website where the public can access all these donations. And every member of city council, even the Democrats, even Jan Michelle Lemon Kearney, and I love to ask her why, voted against it. And I like to know why. And I plan to ask them, like, why'd you vote against this? What's your issue? And they were all in favor for issue 1 and issue 2 being on the ballot. And they do nothing to curb corruption whatsoever. The very least is what I can say is with this Landsman idea that the public can get data in real time. Like if you want to know how much developers are giving to council members and the mayor, boom, it'll be on the website. Now, that's not necessarily a deterrent, but it definitely is a big step in the direction of making the public aware. And when the public is aware, then the public can exercise leverage and accountability. Most definitely. Let me say here. What am I looking at here? Okay. All right, not sure. Janice writes, I used to envision the bedroom walls of Barack Obama and Michelle being splattered with tears. They knew they would endure dislike, but not hatred at that level. Disillusionment. Is that right? Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate. This is the voice of reason. This is Deborah Nesbitt. How
Hello,
you
Deborah
doing?
Nesbitt. Good morning.
You know why I say it like that, right?
Why?
Because when I say my name is Deborah Nesbitt, people think I'm saying Deborah Nesbitt, Deborah lesbian. What did you say? Like they don't understand it. When I say Nesbitt, you know what they come back with me? Good morning, Deborah Nesbitt, and that's why I say it like that.
Hey, whatever works.
It's a verbal cue that makes people understand exactly what I said and to pronounce my name correctly. Because then they don't want to say Nesbitt; they just say Nesbitt. It works. So that's why I do that.
Okay.
It's awesome. So how you doing?
I'm great. Happy Friday.
You got 3 pictures up there. You got the husband and wife. What you say is a dope book cover. It's not, but I'm gonna get to that in a minute.
Oh boy.
And then you got the Kwame, who is killing it right now. Kwame Brown. Wow. And then you have Cicada Man. And one of these kids is not like the others. 2 of those things are very honest portrayals of a thing, and one of them is just a lie. Like Kwame Brown, like you said, is spitting his truth. And he didn't come for it till he was sent. You know what I mean? I mean, he didn't come until he was sent for. Like they didn't just disparage him; they disparaged his family. That's where it started out. They said something about his family being criminals or violent, and then he was like, "You know what? I've kept my mouth shut all this time, but I've got something to say," and it's hilarious and brilliant and just beautiful to watch. I'm loving it. I was like, I wasn't even aware of it, and that was like great to watch. So long live Kwame. Cicada Man, it's like, okay, the cicadas are truth. Like, they perform their service for the environment every 17 years. They aerate the soil, they purge the trees. Like, cicadas have their place in the universe or in our ecology, just like everything else. Get over it, people. You don't have to be scared of the cicadas. They're annoying. But, I mean, it is what it is. You get to dodge cicada. I dodged my first cicada yesterday. I was like, hey, what the hell is that? Oh, it's a cicada.
Is that right?
I was like, oh.
Milestone.
I know. I was like, oh, here it goes again. But this is the 3rd time I've lived through this. I'm that old now. And it is what it is. Like, they're going to be here. They'll do their little thing. They'll scream for a while. And then they're gone. There's this one guy called The Mark on Twitter who actually is dressed up like a cicada. And that was hilarious. He has his whole little commentary on Twitter and about the cicada. He's just called The Mark.
The Mark?
Like the Mark. Like, but not like he's a Mark, but like his name is Mark and he's calling himself the Mark.
The Mark.
M-A-R-K.
Okay, I'm gonna look for it.
And he's dressed up like a cicada on Twitter. It's funny. So yeah, cicada. I thought that's one of the more creative things I've seen with Cicada Man, because supposedly when the wind blows through it, it makes a cicada noise or it screams. Like that's kind of interesting.
Is that right? That's creepy.
Yeah. So, but it's interesting though. It's like, okay, you know, it's oddly creative and it's interesting. So at least it's truthful. Okay. What are you saying about this? Kids, I tell you, my little boy just woke up. I was trying to get it in before he woke up, but it is what it is. Here, drink some juice, hush. So, but the cheating guy, I talked to you about this before. You're giving men in general and black men in particular way too much of a pass for this cheating thing. This whole, you know, I'm just a man. I'm just, you know, I'm fallible. I'm not perfect. I'm just learning. That takes me all the way back to the whole Jay-Z and Beyonce thing. And where basically, like, all the black men got on Twitter and decided that if Beyonce was could get cheated on, then no black woman should really expect fidelity. Like, you know, same thing with Eric Benet and Halle Berry. And if you really want to go off on your Friday Funnies tangents, and we could talk about Bill and Hillary. Like, you can't just, don't cheat on people. You laughed at what I said, but I really meant what I said. I was serious when I said it. Like, don't You're building a whole crop with your marriage. You're building this whole thing. Don't fertilize your crops with your wife's dignity or the dignity of your marriage, and don't water your crops with her tears. It's a bad thing. It's not kind. It's a lie.
Hey, Deborah,
It's a
you're breaking
lie.
up for some reason.
I don't know why. I'm on my house phone. I shouldn't be. But can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. Sounds a little better now.
Okay. Yeah. So infidelity is not to be admired or joked about. I mean, marriage is a promise. You give your word is your bond. You break your word, everything else is suspect. You know, I'm just saying, you can't that's how a man or a woman or an adult person should live. Your word is your bond. And you're right. You said something about like you can't when you're in a relationship is different. You can choose. You may not be able to choose who you love, but you can choose what you do about it. Love don't have to make you a fool. And he's making a fool out of her. He's making a fool out of himself, and it's just not okay. Sometimes you just have to cut your losses.
Can we just admit that's a dope book cover though?
No, it's not. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you, the book cover is ridiculously uninspired. I mean, you're talking about marriage, and as a graphic designer, it's not an inspiring book cover at all. And a book about marriage, putting a wedding couple on there, I'm going to tell you why, Nate. In a book about marriage, putting a wedding couple on the cover is not avant-garde. It's not. It's trite. It's very typical. It's stereotypical. And it's a book about marriage healing. See, the book says this is what marriage is. Marriage is not the wedding. Marriage is not the point where you're standing in each other's eyes in the little cute little wedding finery and saying I do. That's not what a marriage is. That's a wedding. A marriage, if he really wanted to make a cover, it would be the two of them sitting back to back, not facing each other in front of a marriage counselor. That's what the true healing begins.
You're wrong about that.
No, I'm not wrong about that.
I'm gonna tell you why that's dope. I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong about that.
It's not dope. It's not dope.
I'm gonna tell you why it's dope because it is about marriage.
It's Medea's family wedding. It's the wood. It's not. It's not
Deborah
inspiring.
Nesbitt, when does the marriage begin?
The marriage begins actually. You don't need all that. The marriage begins actually when you
the marriage begin on?
When you send in the when they send you back your little wedding thing, when they send you back your certificate. No, not on your wedding day. No, not on your wedding day, Nate. When you get your marriage license, Nate, that's
now
it. You're done.
You're trying to get all specific about it. The reason why this is a dope cover is because they look dope. Number one, you got to give them that. They both look dope. He look clean. She looks good. Then number two, this is the day that their marriage began, on their wedding day. So that's the reason why it's apropos, because it's symbolic.
Not dope. It's stereotypical, Nate. It's very trite. It's not dope.
Hater.
It's pretty. No, I'm not a hater. It's pretty. But honestly and truly, that's not anything you couldn't get from marriage.com or your average Vogue covers or like.
They don't look as good as that picture does. Whoever the photographer was A1. It looks great.
Sweetie, I could have took that picture.
Their noses are touching. This intimate embrace. This is black love. This is black
love.
No,
it's not. That's not what black love is. If they really wanted to portray black love, they would have shown her in a bonnet, cooking some grits for him at a breakfast table. Like, that's what black love is. That's the glitz and glamour of black love.
No,
black love is the nuts and bolts. Okay, but that's a wedding, and I'm going to reiterate to you, Nate, that a marriage is not a wedding.
Hear me out, Deborah. There is no day in a wedding that is more, when the love is more pure and more raw and you feel it the most, than on your wedding day. In that moment right there, when a man and a woman have come before their friends and their God and taken their vows and committed to one another. And that's the essence of this picture. And that's why it's a dope picture. You are hating.
And I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong, Nate. The essence of the marriage is not when it begins, it's when it holds or breaks. And the point at which you start to step outside your marriage, the point at which you look at another person and say that person is more desirable to me than the person I stood in front of all those other people with. At the point you put that person above your marriage, at that point you're even considering that when your marriage holds or breaks is more important than that wedding day. Because you have to make a decision. He made a choice. He made the wrong choice. I mean, maybe he made the right choice because it's proven to be very lucrative for them. But you're making a choice to put something else above your significant other, above your marriage, above your husband, above your wife. You're making a choice. Now, if that's the path they want to take, that's fine. But it's no longer about their marriage anymore. It's about money. Or it's no longer about marriage anymore. It's about
You're wrong
sex.
about that.
I'm not wrong, Nate.
You're wrong
it's
about
just,
that.
You want to play. How can I be wrong about that?
You're wrong.
How can it proves what it?
I'll tell you how you're wrong.
It speaks for itself.
It does speak for itself. You're right, but you're misinterpreting it. You're saying that because Derrick Jaxn cheated on his wife.
Is that them on the cover? Or is that some random couple? Is that the actual couple involved on the cover?
Couple. It appears to be Derrick Jaxn and his lovely wife. You just said something that is not
even
always
worse.
true.
That's
and it
even
needs to
worse.
Be corrected. It
That's
needs to be
even
challenged.
worse.
It needs to be challenged, Deborah.
He's taking the best. You need to be challenged. He's taking the best moment of her life, which is the princess wedding, which every woman don't get, and it's not even required to be married. It's that you don't have to have a wedding to get married. You don't. First of all, everybody needs to hear this. Whoever listens to Nate, you don't need to have a wedding to get married. You can get stand up at the Justice of the Peace in your living room or in your backyard. All that expensive crap is not necessary.
Nobody ever said anything
You're
about
making
a wedding.
my point.
Nobody ever said anything about anything expensive.
You just said, Nate, that the moment it all begins is when you get married.
Deborah, let me explain to you. Let me explain to you why you're wrong. So number one,
you're gonna mansplain it to me? Okay, go ahead.
You said something that has to be challenged. You said that he put another woman above his wife. And
was it another man? I don't know.
Allegedly, he cheated on her with another woman. And all I'm saying is I can understand how people can look like that, but that doesn't mean that's what really went down. It could have been that he was in a moment of weakness. He was wrong. I'm not saying he was right. He was wrong. It was a moment of weakness or whatever. He stepped out. He went to her and apologized. They're still together. He didn't move in with another woman. He's not on the cover with another woman. That's his wife right there. So he did not put another woman above his wife. He made a mistake.
I think that does
it was an
protest
indiscretion, and him and his wife are moving forward. The other thing you have to be challenged on is you're right. You don't have to have a wedding, but the ceremony you do have to have. And that's why this is a dope cover. Because no matter how much money you spend on your wedding or you don't have a wedding at all, you're going to have a ceremony. And that's the essence of what they're capturing right there. And you're just missing it because you hating.
It's not. No, I'm not hating, Nate. I just think promises matter. I think promises matter.
Do matter.
It's not just.
I agree
right.
with you.
So you get up, you make a, and the fact that you did it in front of God only knows how many people, dressed in your best and brightest, makes it even worse. The fact it's like the Republican Party, like they're liars. They take an oath. They're liars. They're not just liars because they're telling lies. They're liars because they made a promise to do what's best by America no matter what. You make a promise to do what's best by your wife no matter what, in sickness and in health. Like when things are good, when things are bad, when you have just forsaking all others. Like you make that promise, Nate. You make that promise to do that. And breaking it and just being like, oh, well, by the way, I'm going to write a book about it, make a whole bunch of money about it. Come on with me, babe. Like there's something insidious and wrong about that, Nate. I don't care what you say. Like, it's just okay. And it's not about saying but it's just about, but you also do it with a wink and a chuckle. That's like, you know what? It's not right, but I understand. Like, I do not.
Let me tell you why. He's a man. He's tragically flawed, like all humans are. He made a mistake, just like it's thousands of women in marriages and relationships that do the same thing. That's what happened. He's not the devil. He's just a human being. That's it. Tragically flawed, selfish, insecure, whatever it might be. Whatever the reason was, that's all he is. The problem is because the dude had a YouTube channel and wrote a couple of books talking about don't cheat, women put him on a pedestal that he wasn't
Women
never
didn't
supposed
put
to
him
be
on a
on.
pedestal. He put himself on a pedestal.
Women put him on a pedestal.
He made himself the paragon example. He did that to himself.
He did.
It's just like we're talking about what we were talking about the other day. Bill Cosby throwing himself under the bus. He threw himself under the bus. He didn't. He put himself on that and said, "We are the example of a marriage that works." And guess what? The underpinnings of that is that it wasn't. And when people call, and now women are calling him out, like Kwame Brown is calling out the NBA. They're like, "No, you're a liar. You're a damn liar." And this is why.
That's because women have unrealistic expectations.
He's getting all the smoke, and it's what he deserves. Don't blame black women. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
And many women put him on a pedestal that he never deserved to be on, and they had unrealistic expectations.
And just like Steve Harvey. Remember when Steve Harvey set himself up as the relationship guru?
I'm just saying,
act like a lady, think like a man.
And so
and
when
he's been divorced like 50 million times.
You want to totally throw him out and invalidate him. That's all I'm saying.
I know. He deserves to be invalidated because what he says doesn't make sense.
Okay.
His advice doesn't make sense. You don't get to say, I know what makes a marriage work. I know how to keep your marriage together, and then your marriage has problems. You don't get to be that person.
It don't seem like his marriage has problems. Not from what I see, it seems like they work through it.
Okay, you know what? He didn't even say problematic marriage. The title of the book was Don't Cheat. Wasn't that literally the title of the book?
Is that good advice?
Huh? No, obviously, but you have to take your own advice. Physician cures ourselves.
Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
This is why I don't trust people with hair weave, because if you lying to yourself, you're going to lie to everybody else.
That's true.
I hate to say it. This is why nobody trusts. I'm really about to go out on a limb because I can't say that. But I was about to really go there. But I'm not going to do it. But I'm just saying, if you lying to yourself, you'll lie to me, and lies are dangerous. Lies are dangerous. And we see that with the Republican Party. It's one thing to lie to yourself, but when you spread those lies and you tell them to everybody else and people believe your crap, it's hurtful, Nate. It's hurtful. So he should keep his lies to himself. Believe that with you and your people, make your money, but keep it to yourself.
I can only imagine.
Ain't nobody feeling it. Ain't nobody feeling it. That's it.
All right, Deborah,
I think that's really all I got, but I don't know. He should do better.
All right.
That's my sermon for the day. See you on the internet.
All right, see you on the internet. Shannon writes, it makes sense. He just didn't follow his own advice. Thank you, Shannon. His advice makes sense. He just didn't follow it. I'm just saying that, at some point we got to let humans be humans. And my attitude about other people's relationships is whatever makes them happy makes me happy. I'm not in a relationship with you. I don't make any judgments about people in their relationships. Will and Jada, I made no judgments about them. If an entanglement is what they needed, if that works for them, if Will was okay with it and she okay with him doing whatever, okay, that's you. Whatever you got to do to get out of bed every morning, you're not getting out of bed with me. I don't live with you. So I'm only concerned about what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, but if that was a black woman who cheated and wrote a book, black women would be way more sympathetic. Some of this is just some anti-black man-ish. And then unrealistic expectations. You expect people to be perfect. Nobody is perfect. I posted a comment, I think it was last week we was talking about this, and somebody was like, so you should expect to get cheated on in a marriage? No, you should not. But if you marry a human, you should expect to be married to a human. That's all I'm saying. People are human. And humans are selfish, self-motivated, insecure. It's 1,000 reasons why, a brother might cheat or a sister might cheat or a man might cheat or a woman might cheat. It's 1,000 reasons. It could just be sex. It could be just because the opportunity presented itself. It could be a lot of reasons. So all I'm telling for all my unmarried women out there and y'all pining away to get married, more than likely you're going to marry a human. That's all I'm trying to tell you. And humans, just like you, are tragically flawed. And that's just a case of it. It's just where we are. I'm just saying. I'm not saying accept anything that you shouldn't accept. If you want them people like, oh, hell no, I respect that. I respect that. Whatever makes you happy makes me happy. Let me see. Danietta writes, Nate, we need to go back to past shows. You had all the criticisms for Jada about her entanglement. I don't remember it like that, sister. I don't remember that. I don't think so. I think I felt the same way then as I do now. I mean, that works for them. My critique with Jada is I felt like she used that boy because he was having a mental health issue and she was on some cougar type stuff like, you having problems? Like, tell me more about your problems. Okay. Tell me more about your problems. Tell me more, right? She was on some trying to get close to him because he had problems type ish. That was my issue with Jada. I mean, what her and Will do, that's on them. You seem to be okay with it. So how upset could I be? I was more upset with you hypocritical women's because y'all will get super hard about Derrick Jaxn and then be like, yeah, I can understand an entanglement. I can understand it. Like sometimes you have to have entanglement. You know, it's this gender bias. That's what I remember. That's what I remember, but you never know. She writes, black women don't cheat. You're right about that. They do not. Black men don't cheat. Black women don't cheat. Cheat? Where you get that from? She did not cheat. She had an entanglement. Again, from afar, it might be hard for me or you to understand that. But if that works for them, and again, these are big time Hollywood stars. They got all kind of options and shit. You look better than the average American and you got $50 million in the bank. What else you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? I guess you just lay around doing red table talks and get into entanglements. I don't know that lifestyle. I don't know. But when I see Will Smith on his YouTube channel, he seems to be happy. What I will say is never say never. And a long-term relationship, it might change because people change. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the same person I was when I first got married. Neither is my wife. I wouldn't expect her to, and she shouldn't expect me to be. You know, that was 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? That's 2 decades, right? So, you might take up new hobbies or you might find new things that you need to do. You might find a new separate group of friends that you hang out with or something like that that's separate from your marriage. I mean, people do all kinds of things to entertain themselves in long-term relationships. And I guess some people get into entanglements. And again, I have no judgments whatsoever. Do you? That's hilarious. That's right. Call her out, Brent. Jenny writes, like men don't do the same thing. You're right. It's a man and woman thing. That's how I look at it. Terry writes, indeed. Charles writes, no, Deborah, the woman put Derrick on a pedestal, and when he cheated, he busted all that egg on the women's faces, and now they want to condemn him. That's exactly what happened. Because he was writing books and saying some shit, y'all think that he was above what he was saying. That's the problem. He was talking about himself. He was talking about his own feelings, his own experiences. And then, listen, let's be real here. Derrick Jaxn, I saw some of the comments. I went back and looked at some of this stuff. He had all kind of women all over the world thirsting over him. They was thirsting over him. Got them big old arms. Are you working on your triceps, Derrick? Got that smooth, dark skin that some of the women's be liking. Yeah, I already fucking know. I already know. Get the fade all on. I was gonna say on fleek, but my daughter said not to say that. But the fade is on point. Come on now. Plus, don't think that he got some money too. Oh hell no. And he probably put himself in a situation and things happen. You know what I'm saying? That's probably what happened. Not making any excuses. I'm just saying, like, that's probably what happened. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Brent writes, I like what Earthquake said on Quake's House. You don't fall into some, oh, that's right. You don't. You don't fall into it. You go there willingly. Danietta writes, Nate, you're being hypocritical. When a woman cheat, you go ham. Now a man does it and he's a human and just made a mistake. You didn't say that about Cicadapocalypse Smith. You went in on her. I don't remember it that way, sis. I think I said the exact same thing. I did not go in on her for her cheating. I went in on women for giving her a pass. And I went in on Jada because she took advantage of August Alsina. It's clear that he had mental issues. Friend of her son. And the cougar in her came out. She saw opportunity like, wow. Oh, I heard that single. Wow. And she went for it. That was my issue. But what happens between her and Will, that's their business. I don't have no opinion about it whatsoever. Anthony writes, have to agree with her on that. He did to himself. He made himself the standard. No, women made him the standard. He was just talking about relationships. And again, it doesn't mean that all that stuff he was saying wasn't true. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he probably was giving some dope insights about it. I can't remember anything in particular. Don't have to invalidate it, but he, just like Jada Pinkett and whoever else, a human. Wrong, but that's between him and his wife. I ain't mad at him about it. He didn't hurt me. Shannon writes, flawed, yes, he did make a mistake. He made a conscious decision. Correct. Susan writes, no one can put themselves on the pedestal. Exactly. Diana writes, I'm like, anyone still reading what this clown has to say? It's ridiculous. So now he's a clown. Shannon writes, she seems to be taking this very hard. Nat writes, ex-person married but never been married. Right. Gladys. Glenn writes, he wrote a book and made up quick because he didn't want to make them Kobe payments. I'm just saying. Could be. Tanika writes, nobody would buy the book with the cover she described. Nobody. LOL. Jackson is something else, but he's smart though. LOL. Right. That's black excellence right there. Did he play the audience to sell books? He might have. That's called capitalism. Let them be great. That's the title of today's show. Let all of these people, in some cases, and entities, insects, whatever the case may be, in other cases, let them be great. Kwame Brown is giving us an exercise in mental health. What he's doing is healthy. I suspect that you probably had people in your life that you let them give a pass, didn't you? You was trying to be Christian, wasn't you? You was trying to be nice. I know. Because you're a nice person. But what Kwame Brown is doing is he is cathartic. It's cathartic. He's settling old scores. Mofos came for him. Now he coming for them. I even see him call out Michael Jordan. And I'm here for you, Kwame. Keep doing it. Because too many people hold shit in. Don't hold it in. Let them have it. Let them have it. So try and be nice to these people on the job and cuss their ass out. That's right. I said it. I want you to be you. I want you to go low. I want you to tap into that petty part of you because we all got it. Because that's exactly what I'm learning from Kwame Brown. Sometimes you just gotta let it all hang out. Let people know how you feel. For years, he was used and ridiculed. People on podcasts talking about you're better than Kwame Brown. He's lucky he didn't roll up and slap him in the mouth. Talking slick and greasy about this black man, and now he's having his week. I want to nominate this week Kwame Brown week all across these United States. Let him have it, Kwame. And then you got Cicadatron right there. I'm only showing this because I want to get under your skin. I want to get under the skin of all the people out there that's fake in their feelings about some damn cicadas. Cicadatron. That's actually pretty inventive. You're right about that, whoever said it. Man, I don't have time to do no shit like that. And I definitely have some gloves on. Like the OCD in me is like, he don't have any gloves on. That's a quick test to see if you got some OCD in you. Like when you see that image on the right, is that the first thing that comes in your mind? Like, where are the gloves? That's what jumps in my mind. Like I'm down with the exoskeleton of the Cicada Project, but can we get some gloves, please? You out here touching whole exoskeletons with no fucking barrier? We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Oh, man. Is Polly really cheating? Danita writes, good morning. Last Friday to school year. Yes, I did a little dance when I woke up this morning. Yeah, my daughter is counting out the days. She got projects all up into the last day. Terry writes, Will, no, sometimes you have to cheat to have a relationship. Huh? I don't understand what he's saying. Let me see here. Danita writes, he was on a world tour. Yes, he was. Everybody can get it. And I ain't mad at him. He has some old scores to settle. People got all kind of shit to say about him. He said, you know what? Enough is enough. And I'm just telling you this because I have a sense that a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people kind of hold shit inside. You're biting your tongue. You're 40 years old biting your tongue. Who you biting your tongue for? Let them have it. 50 years old biting your tongue. That shit'll cause hypertension. Let them have it. Let them have it this weekend. It's a Friday. Get it off your chest. You probably got somebody on the job need to be cussed out. Cuss their ass out. Let them know what it is and move on. You're going to feel so much better. Have you ever been in a situation where motherfucker was acting slick and greasy and you didn't say something? And then afterwards you was like, damn, I should have did this. That's a worse feeling than just letting it all hang out and whatever happens, happens. I've done it before too. I'm not saying I'm above it. Then afterward, I'm like, you know what? I should have did this. I should have did that. No more for that. Kwame Brown is teaching us something. Let him have it. Tap into your pettiness. I know I am a bad influence. I want to be a bad influence this morning. We need more bad influences. Good morning to you. Jericho writes, no one defended Jada. I'm not defending Derrick Jaxn. I'm not defending him. I think what he did was indefensible. I'm just saying that let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. And this is a pretty dope book cover. That's all I got. I'm here for. That's a dope book cover. And I need you to admit that, Jericho. Because Deborah Nesbitt called in. What was she talking about? That is an excellent book cover, and nobody can say it's not. And she made it, that's not a good cover from a design standpoint. What? Diana writes, Kwame is having a mental health episode. You know what? This is going to be cathartic for him. If he is, he's going to feel so much better once he lets the world know how he feels. Deriki writes, Kwame Brown, the truth. Clarence writes, I'm with Steven Jackson on this one, Big Nate. Yeah, I like Steven. I like all the guys. I like Steven Jackson. I really like Steven Jackson. I liked him when he was a player. Back when he was at Golden State, I liked him. I thought he was the San Antonio Spurs. They made a big mistake when they got rid of him because he had grit. He had heart. And whenever you're doing something like that, you always got to have players on the floor that's got grit, that have heart. You know what I'm talking about? They ain't afraid. And that's how he is. Plus, he was a dope ball player. I thought. And I like Matt Barnes, too. You know, I thought he had grit. He wasn't the best ball player, and his jump shot looked weird, but I always liked him. So I'm not against him, man. I'm just here for the drama. And I'm trying to learn something from this. And that's what I've learned this week about Kwame Brown, that sometimes you just got to let people know how you feel. Tracy writes, go ahead and cuss him out on your job. When you get fired, Nathan will pay your bills. Well, I mean, be artful with it now. There's a way to do it. Don't be all crude and clumsy with it now. It's Friday. Just call La Rosa's for a cicada and pepperoni pie with extra sauce. See, I ain't even here for the cicada recipe and eating cicada jokes. Like, I'm not here for it. I'm not here. I don't want to see it. I don't think it's funny. Okay? If we want to just enjoy this natural phenomenon, right? Cool. I'm not the dude that's going to be running away. The cicadas. I'm not going to do all of that. But when you're talking about chili dogs with cicadas on top and all this other kind, you're going too far. All right? You're going too far, Anthony. Going way too far. Tamika writes, I'm not biting my tongue for anybody. Anybody can get cussed out. Shannon writes, it's a nice cover, but it's like that guy who's so fine, but he's ugly when you don't like him anymore. I have to take your word for it. Glenn writes, I got fired one time. They expected me to go off. They had a little small security guard and everything. I thanked everyone, said goodbye to my friends at work, went to Brothers about 3 and got lit. Didn't leave until the night. You ain't got no job drinks all night. Love my peeps. You ain't got no job drinks. They should put that money in like a little basket for you, bro. Say that. But I understand the whole, you just lost your job, ain't even Friday. Your friends want to take you out. That's some good friends right there. That's some good friends. Daniela writes, F Matt Barnes. I said what I said. See, now you're going too far, sis. Now, why are you saying F Matt Barnes? And please don't tell me it has anything to do with this domestic violence thing, because he's already explained it, and it wasn't his fault. It was an overzealous police officer. See the hate that's coming? It's an okay book cover, Nate. It's not going to make me run out and buy the book. I'm only going to read it if she's going to tell us she got her revenge cheat because she did. Oh, that what we doing out here? Is that what we doing out here? I don't know what you mean. Almost a revenge cheat. Anthony writes, come on, Nate, open your mind to a few new things. Nah, my mind's pretty closed on that one. Jerome writes, I am a photographer. It will sell the book before the topic. Thank you. And we got a professional. He's a photographer. Y'all hating on this book cover because you don't like Derrick Jaxn with an X anymore. If you didn't know who he was and you just saw that book, you're not going to tell me, you're not going to stop like, oh, they look dope together. They look dope together. Danietta writes, because Mac Barnes is wait for it, he's a cheater, is he? Everybody's a cheater. Everybody's a cheater. I'm just saying, like, before you get married, everybody's out here dating a bunch of people. You know, you got some folks out there, primarily women, that's like the one person type, but most people date around. Okay. And, I mean, we could have a whole topic on that. Jenny writes something I don't even want to reiterate. They ate cicada cookies on this week's CPS. Oh my God. I'm never watching that show again. Now, who is the fool? Talking about something, yeah, you want to try it? It's nice. I ain't trying that. I smacked that shit out their hand so fast. We can put that cookie down. Talking about some damn cicada cookies. Some things shouldn't be played with. You don't fuck up a cookie like that. Only time I'm messing with any kind of cicadas in an edible fashion is if it's the last days. Then anything goes. We out here scrounging for food. Yeah, I need some protein. Other than that, hell to the nah. The hell? Tracy, I'm just having some fun, Tracy. So you said it, not cheating when you're dating, Nate. I knew you was going to say that. I knew you was going to say that. I was just joking. God damn it. Can I joke? It's a Friday. Can I joke? Cass writes, she took it on the chin way too calmly. She definitely cheated back. Is that right? So, oh, yeah, he's cool. Because she know what she doing, huh? Could be. Diana writes, only non-related relatives out here eating cicadas. I mean, what the hell? Deborah's still back with this hate. I'm a professional graphic designer. The book cover is pretty, but it doesn't illustrate the topic, and it's not intriguing as typical. You said, let's start with the book cover is pretty. That's all we need to do. Everything else is hating. The book cover is pretty. Thank you. See, this is the level. See, when a woman falls out with you, she falls all the way out with you. When a black woman is done with you, she done with you completely. These black women in here is so done with Derrick Jaxn, they can't even admit that the book cover is nice. They can't even admit it's a nice book cover. R. Kelly was right. When a woman's fed up, ain't nothing you can do about it, boy. It is a wrap. It wouldn't matter what Derrick Jaxn did from this moving on. Like, he could cure cancer, and people were like, fuck him. You cheater. He could deliver, the cure for cancer is here. I brought it for the world. And black women be like, Negro, please, you better get that cancer shit out. It's probably a lie. We don't trust you. And you lied about cheating, you motherfucker. Damn, easy. Easy. All right, back away and reholster the gun. Okay? Unsnap the belt and throw it on the floor in front of you, okay? Damn, black woman. Y'all are mad. Woo, do not betray I already know. Do not betray a black woman. Don't do it. It don't matter what Derrick Jaxn could go politics and lead the charge and successfully secure reparations for all of us. And black women would still be like, you shouldn't have cheated on your wife, right? Damn, I get it. Oh, man. Glenn writes, Nate likes picking at the hornet's nest. You know Lady Choppers don't play. I am poking the bear just a little bit. I know the Lady Choppers don't play. I already know. I ain't trying to go that far with them. I don't want the smoke. I'm not ready for the smoke from the Lady Choppers. I'll fully admit it. But I am having a little fun. It's a Friday. It's a Friday. Deborah writes, when a woman's fed up. LOL, when a woman's fed up. Donnie writes, oh shit, R. Kelly, I'm triggered now. Right? Oh boy. R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Derrick Jaxn. Oh boy. Triggered on triggered. Y'all are having, man, I'm having too much fun. This is too much fun on a Friday. That is hilarious. Like, y'all serious about this? Like, let that brother sell his books, man. You know he got some dope shit in there. You already know it's probably some pretty dope stuff in there. I wouldn't buy the book just because I'm not interested right now, but like if I picked it up, so if I saw it like at a yard sale, I'd pick it up. I would definitely do an interview. Ain't no doubt about that. I'd definitely do an interview with Derrick Jaxn. That'd be a hot interview. And I want all the dirt details and everything. But it is what it is. Ceasefire in the Middle East just for folks that care about that kind of stuff. Somebody called in earlier and asked me what I would do if I was president. And I'm like, God, I thank you for having that much faith in me. But I'd have to do some research to get back with you with an answer that I feel comfortable really putting out there on the airways. So I had to hit you with that. Like, I ain't ready for that one, B. You're talking about a very complex issue. And it deserves, even on a platform like this, it deserves a very serious response. If I was president, I mean, number one, that's a big stretch. That ain't happening. Hell, we got a president who don't know what to do with it. That's a very, very complicated and sensitive international issue. Even though historically, if you look at it, the scales are not balanced. They greatly favor the country of Israel. Even in that, it's a very sensitive and very, very complex issue. I do like the whole Iron Dome thing. So they got like a missile defense system there in Israel called the Iron Dome. I'm like, oh shit, that sounds like a cool ass kung fu movie. Don't need to say anything disparaging to my Asian brothers and sisters out there. I'm just saying that's what it looks like. That's what it sounds like to me. I'm of that generation. So Deborah writes, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. I already know. TNT is dropping some science here. Hey, choppers, make sure you sign the petition to stop House Bill 294 anti-voter bill. Yeah, and I'm going to sign it myself right after the show. From what I know about it, I will 100% agree with signing the petition. Why would you sign a petition? Because while the Democrats are in the minority, they still, during committee, have an opportunity to appeal to and try to persuade their colleagues. And from what I've been told by state reps on this show is that it can have an impact. So I know we talked to Black Russia about a couple weeks ago. He was on some just we can't do nothing, so we just gonna have to live the way they let us live type shit. I don't give a damn about no Republican majority. We're never gonna change things if we don't start and we don't try. So don't let people tell you that your emails, your phone calls don't have an impact. It does have an impact. It will have an impact. So what are they trying to do with House Bill 294? Basically, it's in the same spirit, and I don't have all the details in front of me, of the moves that the Republican state legislative majority down in Georgia did. And they're trying to restrict your access and make it more difficult for people that they think might work for Democrats to vote. In a nutshell, that's what it is. It's an anti-voter measure. They're trying to hear in Ohio. Now, you might be saying, well, isn't Ohio a red state? Well, correct the mundo. Ding, ding, ding. I think Ohio is a red state. In the last two presidential election cycles, correct me if my information if I'm wrong here, but the Republican candidate took Ohio by at least 8 points. To me, that means Ohio's a red state. But when you're ahead, you don't just rest on your laurels. If you're the Republican Party, you do whatever you can to slam the door on your opposition. You want to stay ahead forever. Now, I've told people this, and I've said it before. I'm not surprised by anything that we're seeing on the national level. The coordination that we see between Republican governors right now, Like in the state of Ohio, Mike Sucker MC, no spine to whine. He decided to stop the $300 per week federal supplemental money that was coming in. It wasn't coming from the state. There's 11 other Republican governors that have done the same thing. They're all in cahoots together. They get together on Zoom calls behind closed doors and they craft policy. And I remember reading in college 20 years ago, Republican periodicals like the Federalist Papers and others, in which they talked about back then what their plans were for today. This was always the plan. And the Republican Party's plan is to have a one-party system. What the Republican Party wants to do, and they're close to doing it, is to become the Harlem Globetrotter to the Democrats' Washington General, where, yeah, there's a game and seemingly there seems to be competition, but you already know the outcome before you sit down, right? When you went to a Harlem Globetrotters game, you already knew that they was going to beat the Washington Generals every single time. And that's what the Republicans wanted to do 20 years ago. They wrote about it. It was widely, you can read it for yourself. And these Republican periodicals, back then it was before the internet, it was periodicals and magazines and things like that. They wrote extensively. I read about it, about what their plans were for the Supreme Court, what their plans were for Congress. And now 20 years later, all of this is coming to fruition. I'm not surprised by any of it. I'm more surprised that the electorate becomes, in some cases, just a willing patsy to go along with it, and you get nothing out of it. Like some of these Tea Party voters running around talking to Tea Party and Republican votes, and there be Republican cats get in there and don't do a damn thing for you. But since they say they're for abortion and against socialism, the evil scourge of sharing the wealth, then all of a sudden, mofos is voting against their own best interest. I ain't surprised one bit, and you're gonna see more of it. So what we're seeing in Ohio is a part of a long-term strategy about political power and control. And they're doing it. They're doing it right in front of them. They're doing it in the state of Ohio. What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Daniela writes, this is so disrespectful. She writes, his wife is on some handmaid and tail shit. So disrespectful. Terry writes, do they know Derrick Jaxn's wife's occupation? How is she a religious person? Tabitha writes, they giving out that smoke on Friday. Daniela writes, nothing complex. Biden sold Israel $375 million in weapons to kill Palestinians, and then he asked for a ceasefire. Good point. Cass writes, I didn't like him before the cheating. I always got that vibe from him that he was that dude that wouldn't get the girls, so he decided to snitch on all the dudes that were in hopes that it would make girls like him more. I guess it worked for him. Anthony writes, the only thing to do is to go in and occupy, then set up the territory arrangements. We can't allow them to settle their differences as adults in the room. Y'all smarter than me, because I fully admit I need to do a little bit more research before I can speak intelligently on it. You know, you ask me, what would I do as president? I've got an idea, but the specifics, the history, the current issues, it's outside my knowledge, I must admit. But I catch up to speed real quick. The transference of spirits from all of this bed hopping, then you become mental double-minded weakness to spirit. Okay. TNT writes, it lists the emails and phone numbers of all sponsors to the petition and a script to send to them. Susan writes, teach Nate. Lemmy writes, change the game. American, yes, you can. Tabitha writes, I want a president that's going to revise the Constitution and the amendments and make it equal, period. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not even sure what it would take to revise the Constitution. I think it's a very high bar. It's a very high threshold to do that. I can't even remember what it is offhand, but it takes a significant majority of Congress and even some of the states to change the U.S. Constitution. I don't remember the specifics on the states, but I think it takes a majority of the states or a significant portion of the states themselves for us to have an amendment to the U.S. Constitution. And if I remember correctly, I'm sure there's people out there that's got that top of mind. Please share. But that's a very high threshold. Daryl writes, ALEC and the Federal Society with the Heritage Foundation, these groups not for blacks. Daryl is on point. ALEC, the Federal Society, the Heritage Foundation, all on point. And particularly, you should pay attention to what ALEC is doing. Like I said, while we talking about dumb shit in some cases around the country, you got these organizations that have millions of dollars behind them that is pushing policy. Do you think that it's coincidence that across the nation that Republicans have the majority of the governors and the majority of the state legislators? See, what they understand is that state level is going to have far more of an impact on you than the federal level. Across this country, Republicans on the state level are running things by the vast majority. And to me, that has far more of an impact on you if you live in that particular state. And that's how they keep control. Jericho writes, so Nate, did you just skip my comment about you? LOL. How haterish of you, big bro. No, I didn't see it. Let me go back here. I didn't see your comment. What did you say? Could you reiterate it, please? There's a lot of comments in here. I'm looking back for it. What time was the comment? No need to run. I'm right here. Again, could you restate it, please? I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. But if you restate it, I'll definitely read it. Deborah writes, Nate gives men too much of a pass. No, I don't. I'm very critical of men. I've said it straight up. Like, why would you drag a woman into a relationship and she thinks you're monogamous and you out here cheating on her? Why would you do this? Why would you go out here dirty dogging it with no condoms on and you bringing STDs and STIs back to your wife? Why would you do that? Why are you out here making babies with other women and you married? I'm been very critical of that. Very critical of it. I, as a man, can give you the other side. You know what I'm saying? As a man, I can give it to you the way men see it. And it may not be as harsh as women see it, because I know women want to hate and everybody's evil, but it doesn't always have to be that way. Let me see here. So again, I'm looking for Jerica. She posted this at 9:56. Can you reiterate it, sis, real quick? Because it's 10 a.m. I got to make a move. But I want to read your comment. I'm going to go back and see. You probably said some crazy shit. So now I'm interested. Let me see. Looking for Jerica's comment here. Give me 1 second. Oh, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for participating in the show today. I mean, it wasn't like super serious. We did talk about a couple serious news things there, but it's a Friday. We talk about so much heavy shit Monday through Thursday that, you know, we take a day once a week to talk about the more social topics. Some people say these topics are not important. I disagree. I think relationship topics, social topics are just as important as politics. It's just as important. It's just different. Let's see. I'm looking for her comment. I don't see it. Deborah writes, Nate's playing radio host, devil's advocate now, shaking my head. Y'all just can't give Nate a break today. Y'all just read me. You just gonna read me. Jerica writes, didn't Nate blame Mary J for her husband cheating on her? Yes, Nate is the leader of the Women's Haters Club. Grab your cape. I did not blame. Did I blame her? I don't know if it was blame. I can see why you would say that. So let me reiterate. When Mary J, when the information came out that, and I remember Tracy was all pissed off about this. Like, she was super mad. What's her husband's name? Cujo or Kid Scroll? Something like that. Anyway, whatever Mary J husband's ex-husband was. And we came out that it was that he was leaving that relationship and had a new relationship. What I said is that there must have been something wrong with Mary J. There must have been something really wrong in that relationship to make a black man leave a situation like that. So let's look at the situation. He's married to an R&B superstar who makes, I think at the time, it came out, she's making like $200,000 a month. They have no children together, and she has accepted the children that he has from another relationship. On top of that, he's her manager. This is their life. And he walked away from that. So to me, that tells me there must have been something that was damn wrong in that relationship. Because many black men is not leaving a situation like that with a woman in that situation. Why would I leave that? You with Mary J. Blige. She ain't bad to look at. Your life is traveling around, helping her make money and going to concerts. So it just told me that it must have been something going on in that relationship that would make that black man leave. He did not leave Mary J. Blige just for sex. It had to be bigger than just he found something new and sexy. It had to be more than that. That's what I said. And I mean it. I still say it today, Jerica. I say, I knew you was trying to twist my words. That's not what I said. I just reiterated what I said. And it still makes sense to me. You got this black man that's going to leave that situation with Mary J. Blige to get with another woman just for sex. I don't believe that. He must have been very unhappy to leave a situation like that. Because you got brothers out there fantasizing about being in situations just like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all in love, seemingly, y'all married. Your job is to support her. You her manager. And she Mary J. Blige. How hard could that be? You know what I'm saying? And he left that situation for another woman. You better believe that he didn't do that just for no sex. He didn't do that just because she's prettier. He did that because he has some serious issues with her. That's the only reason a black man is leaving a situation like that, Jerica. And you know that. And you know that. Let me see. Jerica writes, that's blaming the woman. So we can blame the victim in Mary's situation, but we can't blame the cheater in Jason's situation. Okay, so what? I don't even understand your point you're making here. I don't understand the point you're making. I really don't. I don't understand. So if we took my logic and applied it to Jason, then I would be saying what? Blaming her? I read every situation different. They're not the same. Derrick Jaxn's situation is not the same as Mary J. Blige. It's different. It's different. I don't know I'm just telling you, I'm reading it differently. You know, again, for this to apply, since Derrick Jaxn was the superstar in the relationship, he's the one with the books, he's the one with the 750,000 subscribers, then she would have been the one who would have to leave him for somebody else. It don't compute, Jerica. No, it don't compute. I put it into the computer and it spit it back out and said, reject it. No. Deborah writes, OMG, you wrong, Nay. I know I'm wrong. I know it. I know it. I know it. Nat writes, she baited you in, then went in for the kill, Nay. It only appears that way. It only appears that way. Because when you think about it, it don't make sense. Kendu is his name. Kendu cheated on Mary J because of that flicked dance she does on stage. He was sick of that shit. Right. Oh my God. This has been so much fun. It's been so much fun. Donnie writes, how about he's just trash? Why? Sorry about that. Why does his shortcomings have to be a reflection of something being wrong with her? Why did Jay-Z cheat on Beyonce just for sex? I don't know. I think those situations are different. In the Kendu situation, he started a whole new relationship. And that's why I'm like, wait a minute. It's one thing to cheat. It's another to get with a whole new relationship. So it's different. In Jay-Z's situation, I don't know. He might have cheated because he's Jay-Z and he felt entitled. You know, he's worth $500,000. Jigga what? Jigga who? Could have been that. Jay-Z might have cheated because he's insecure. All that money, he can still be insecure. It's a lot of insecure men out there. And it's a lot of insecure men that try to like deal with their inner issues with a bad, well, you know what Rihanna said. She said a bad chick. And that's true. There's a lot of men out there who are insecure. And having sex with a woman, especially if they perceive her to be pretty, makes them feel good about themselves. In fact, in some cases, it's the only thing that can make certain men feel good about themselves. I don't know why. But that has nothing to do with Kendu. And it has nothing to do with Derrick Jaxn. Y'all just trying to lump them all together, and that's the problem. Deborah Reiser, you don't know Mary J's situation. Here's what I do know, Deborah, and let me take it from the top before I roll out of here. There are very few black men that's leaving a situation like that just because of sex. I just don't see it happening. You're going to leave a superstar that's making money for a broke chick because of sex, you don't understand men if you really believe that. There's no way in the world that he was leaving that relationship unless, she was just a bad wife. I'm just going to say it. Donnie writes, men cheat for sex all the time. And so do women. And then sometimes, Donnie, it's not about sex. It's something else. But you're right. Men cheat for sex, but sometimes it's about insecurity. And it's about the feeling that being with a woman or a new woman or whatever can give to an insecure man. That happens all the time. I think that we want to vilify men because I think that women are no different. There's plenty of women out there that cheat for sex. Why'd he cheat? Because she wanted to. Because she met somebody that she was curious about or whatever. I'm just saying. I gotta go, y'all. I gotta go. I could do this all day, man. This is so much fun. It's been a great Friday show. I really appreciate you for being here. Have an excellent rest of your Friday, family. I wish you the best, and I'll catch up with you real soon. On a Friday, I'll leave you with our motto. We know what it is. We'll take it from the top. All right, we'll say it all together. Winners focus on winning, and losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning, and we'll talk real soon. I'm Nathan Ivy, and I'm out.